It's that time of year. We're going to be in Houston, Texas from April 1st to April 5th, celebrating the Lord's 57th annual Passover under Commanding General Yohana. Jam-packed, full of events, line dancing, fishing, horseback riding, rides for the kids, bounce houses, and the annual lamb slaughter held at the BH Ranch. And it ain't no party like the all-black party, the annual all-black party. 14149 Player Street in Houston, Texas. You know it's gonna be lit. All leading up to Saturday, April 4th, the Lord's 57th annual Passover. You still got time. Go to isupk.com to pay your Passover fee. 18 and over, $200. You do not want to miss the Lord's 57th annual Passover. Houston, Texas. Shalom.
Shalom, shalom. You went live at Isupk, Israelite School, Universal Practical College. Isupk, Commander General Yohana, Priest and Captain, not the Zakon Shah, the Isupk. Everybody make sure you pay your tithes. Get ready for the Lord's 56th, 57th annual Passovers. Looking like this might be the last one here. Let's get it on.
Shalom, Israel, with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. And you know what time it is. It's the Lord's 57th annual Passover. And it's going to be held in Houston, Texas on April 4th. Don't forget, bring your family, bring your friends. Because this is going to be the time that so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans can come under one roof in one house and to serve the Lord. It's that time. $200 per person. Don't forget, over the age of 17. Don't forget the Lord's Passover. It's coming.
Kingdoms ours, all the heathens forbidden. The chosen bow down to no one. It was written.
Lord's 56th, 57th annual Passover. Live from Houston, Texas. Down in Texas land. Hold up. What's going on here? So like it, bear with just a moment. All right, there we go. Shalom, shalom. Yahweh Shemel Shah Rakatah. Yahweh Shemal. Al-Thama Hashem Yahweh Shah. All right. Shalom, shalom. Everybody make sure that you have completed your Passover travel form. Everybody was sent Passover travel form. Some of you have not replied. It was sent to everybody. Everybody needs to make sure you get that information. Fill that form and email it back. Passover is right around the corner. Everybody that was sent it, check your phone, check your messages, check your emails. You were supposed to have received it and filled it out with that travel information. All right. Shalom, Tazarah. Shalom, Yatawab. Akwaf now. All right. Most High in Christ. Shalom. Yahweh Shemel Shabbagatah. Yagadah on the scene.
What's going on, Adawan?
All right. We got a question. Shalom, shalom. Make sure y'all share this link, share these classes with whoever, so they can get in here and ask questions and learn what's in the Bible. Everybody is going to need to know. If you are Latino and Native American, and you do not know what is in the Bible, what's going on right now, you put yourself and your family in very grave danger, in very great danger, by not knowing what's in the Bible, by not being in tune with the Spirit of the Lord, being covered with a different spirit, opposite of the spirit that the Lord had commanded us to be covered in. Right? You must know that. All right. So, question in the room: a baby that made 5 days before birth died. Right. So, Trooper McCoy is very good question. Very, very good question. Why would a baby die? There's a number of reasons that a baby can die. The baby could have had birth, going on with the heart, with the lungs, with the brain, with the kidneys. You understand? Because it's expected that when a sister is pregnant, it is expected and assumed that give me none barren among you in 28, in Deuteronomy chapter 28, and it's about 17, 18. Give me that, Yagador. It's expected and assumed that when a sister gets pregnant, she will have and deliver a baby. It's expected and assumed. That is not always the case, because we disobeyed the people. The Lord had made us a promise if we obeyed him. Other nations of people who never received the Lord seed, our seed be blessed. And also from the Lord in the thing that we made, that we agreed to, which we broke, that if we did not obey him, then curses would come upon. And curses is from Aqualia Allah's question. Many times in captivity, ours, their babies, is not talked about very often, but it does happen. Sisters have miscarriages. Many a number of sisters in school have all miscarriages and lost the babies. We've had pass away for one reason or another. You understand? So it's not something that does not happen. It's terrible. It's unfortunate. We pray that they rise again. But those are some reasons why a baby, when made it up 5 days until, could be something going on, could be health issues. Maybe the baby wasn't strong enough. Maybe something that the mother did. There's a ton of things that many sisters, not saying any one specific case, but many sisters do not know how to save themselves pregnant. They don't dress to be pregnant. They don't have what's called maternity clothes. They don't take nice and strong their life. They don't change their life so that, or their lives, so that a baby would be safer inside of them or harm the baby. They don't stop the smoking that they would normally do, the partying that they would normally do, the sex that they would normally have. They don't stop their life in any way because there's a new one coming. They figure that, like Cardi B, she's out still dressing her regular hoe attire. She's traveling all over the goddamn world. She's falling down. She's still trying to dance pregnant. She's not creating a safe, conscious, sober-minded environment so that a precious, vulnerable cargo that is depending on her and her body to be in top health, top shape, and to not put herself, and by in turn the baby growing inside of her, in a position to where it will be endangered or harmed or hurt, or not taking the proper vitamins necessary, Again, I don't know the specifics of whoever, but these are many general reasons. Life is not magic. It's not magic at all. And because of Christianity, in terms of life, in terms of death, in terms of getting well and hopes and wishes, life doesn't run on hopes and wishes, prayers and thoughts. Life runs. The Lord gave Adam commandments. He gave Adam instructions. Authority. Things Adam got change around the way that he saw fit. Once the Lord gave him that authority, because we've been taught to take the wheel, Jesus will work it out. All of these silly Christian or of a what you or the individual is required to do to make sure that things work out better. All right. But that's a question. And baby, there wasn't a good atmosphere or environment for the baby. The Lord didn't want the baby to be born into that family. All right. It's all kind of reasons and things. So you might want to, those are some of them. Sometimes the Lord may want to spare a parent, spare a brother or sister having to raise a child that might be sickly, or a baby that might come out and be born and then die shortly after, while everyone is preparing to celebrate and looking forward and buying all the baby clothes and preparing the nursery, and then unfortunately the baby does not make it. So it is a tragedy, but it is not something that is uncommon. And there's also something with any loss and any tragedy that you want to focus your mind into as well, if this be the case, or whether it's just a hypothetical question, that the Lord said that we are to be alike partakers. This is one of my favorite scriptures in the entire Bible, to be Wisdom of Solomon 18:7, that during Passover night, we made a covenant with the Most High, that our forefathers said we would be alike partakers and brothers and sisters with each other, and evil. You understand? There's evil that happens to our people. There's good that happens to our people, and evil and good, we can have both from the Lord. Job had to check his wives about that. When his wives said for you to curse the Most High and die, and then he said, foolish woman, are we only allowed to accept him? So that's also something to think about as well. And other brothers and sisters suffer and go through things, and why not any other one? Why not? If your brother goes through it, why is it a chance that you or your sister would not go through it? Because we made a covenant with the Lord that we would go through the same good and evil together. You understand? All right. So let me know if that answered your question, brother. All right. Go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 7.
Questions. Everybody just make sure you type your questions into the chat. Just make sure you type your questions into the chat there. If you got any questions. If not, you're good to go.
Did you want the scripture out of one?
All right. We should be good.
Salaki out of one. Did you want the scripture?
Yeah.
Deuteronomy. Kana wakan. This is Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 14. Thou shalt be blessed above all
Pull it.
people. Salakia, one, thou shalt be
The Lord said that we would be blessed.
there
You
shall
breaking
not
up,
be
Yagador.
yes, a little bit of a delay out of one Salakia. There shall not be male or female barren among you.
There would be none barren among us. The Lord gave us a promise that if we obeyed him, that we would not have such a problem with our children. None of our sisters, none of our daughters, none of our wives, no one would be without children. None of our children would be in a sickly or weakened state. But because we disobeyed the Most High, we now end up in such a situation as a people. Go ahead.
Or among your cattle.
Or among your cattle. The Lord said he would bless our cattle. Of course, the vast majority of us, blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, we don't have any cattle at all. We don't have any cattle because of the curse from the Most High. That's why we don't have cattle. But we are supposed to. This is just an example of the curses that the Lord said, which we are still under because we did not obey the Most High. All right. You can go ahead and finish it. That scripture.
That was the end of that one, out of one.
Okay, Most High in Christ, the water. See if that answered the brother's question. All right, Shalom, Yahweh Shemal, Thabah, Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, Most High in Christ. All right, frozen.
Shalom Israel, with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, and you know what time it is. It's the Lord's 57th annual Passover, and it's going to be held in Houston, Texas on April 4th. Don't forget, bring your family, bring your friends, because this is going to be the time that so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans can come under one roof in one house and to serve the Lord. It's that time. $200 per person. Don't forget, over the age of 17. Don't forget the Lord's Passover. It's coming.
Kingdoms ours, all the heathens forbidden. The chosen bow down to no one. It was written.
All right. Yeah, dog, you hear me now?
Can I hear the one?
Yagador.
I can hear you out of one. Can you hear me?
Good, good.
All right, Most High in Christ.
All right. Good. I hear you a little better now. Yeah, it looks like it. But we should be good now. I'm going to switch. All right. Yagadar, did you hear me when I said pull up the next question?
Kind of slack out. I didn't hear you. All right, so the next question we have is, I think it was Aqua for Aya. She said, Salakia, with World War III on the horizon, are there specific protocols we need to pay attention for?
Yes, there are plenty of protocols. There are plenty of protocols that we already have. Bear with me just a moment. One protocol that we already have, we want to go over, very important, is the police. Any and all interactions with the police are to be any interactions that you have. That's an ongoing protocol. That's one. We're going to go over that there. You want to be aware of your surroundings. Very, very important. Especially want to be aware of your surroundings, where you are going, who you're going with, where you're going. That's why before everybody goes to Passover, there is a sheet with information that every brother and sister is to fill out, who you're with, the information, where you're going. That's why before everybody goes to Passover, there. So like you bear with me just a moment. When like bear with me just a second. Yeah, everybody hold. I know the issue. I got you. This should solve it. And now, yeah, Quab. Oh, yeah, Quab. Oh, yeah, Quab was. All right. And Yagadar. Now, Quab. All right. That should fix it. We should be good to go. All right. Can you hear me? We should be clear now.
Yeah, I hear you out of one.
Come on, concert.
Okay, good. All right, okay, perfect. All right, Most High in Christ. Yes. That information was sent to be reported anytime you interact with the police, with law enforcement. That is to be reported to the school. All right, good job. That's to be reported to the school. That's an ongoing protocol. Find out why that is to be reported. The incidents, that stuff gets reported. Something happens on the road, a highway, accident, slavery, all of those things. These are things that get reported. They're reported to your camp leader. It's the protocol, especially interactions with the police or law enforcement are to be reported. They're to be reported to find out why, what is happening that caused this to happen. You understand? That is a security protocol that our people do not have in the world. And as a result, nobody learns from what happens. You understand? So nothing can get corrected and make sure that it does not happen again. You understand? That's a very important protocol. All right. Checking in is an important thing. These things are already built into the life of brothers and sisters into the UPK. You are already supposed to be checking in with your camp leader on a regular basis. You're already checking in when you show up to class for high holy days, so that not only one, you can be in the correct place where the Lord is saying for us to gather together, because as America falls more and more, there are going to be places where you are not supposed to be. For example, protest. If you are Black, Latino, or Native American, you are not supposed to be at any protest. You aren't supposed to be waving your flag. You aren't supposed to be on the news. You aren't supposed to be, you understand? That's not where you are supposed to be. Now, if something happens where you are, that's a different story. But you should not be on the street with a pro-Palestinian, anti-America, pro-Trump, no kings parade. There are laws in the Bible about a multitude to do evil. Going out on the street telling everybody what you think is not how you protest. You understand? That's how people in the world go to protest. The ISUPK, we hold a protest every time we hold camp. We hold a protest. We hold a once protested about that the majority of people who will complain about police brutality, which they should, and they will complain about a dangerous neighborhood, which they should, but they're not there for when God sends the prophets to protest about them having sex with anybody and leaving them to create the children that make the city and the neighborhood dangerous, about not having a woman rule over the household that raises the sons that become the Kia boys, that kick in doors, that shoot other teenagers because they're very effeminate and cannot handle having their feelings hurt without harming someone. You understand? When we are out protesting, saying what the Lord once said, our people don't give a damn about that. But once politics dictates that now is the time to be upset because whatever the white man or the liberal white man says should not happen, now our people want to take to the streets with a sign, let their voice be heard. You can go out there arguing with some white man who wants to kill something and get yourself stabbed at a goddamn Antifa Proud Boys rally, which happened a ton of times during all the COVID wars. You understand? That is the protocol. You are not supposed to be at any marches. Nobody's protests. Very important things to do. A protocol that's already built into God's commandments is birthdays. Yaquab, give me the signs of the heathen. Give me Jeremiah, the 10th chapter. And Yagadar, give me the birthday party. All right? When Herodias danced for John the Baptist. It was because it was Herod's birthday. I mean, Herodias danced for Herod the Great for his birthday party. Going to birthday parties puts our people in danger. The regular things that our people would normally do, these regular things that our people would normally do, that the Lord commanded us not to do. These things put us in danger, like celebrating birthdays, like celebrating Halloween, like celebrating Mother's Day and Father's Day and Christmas and Halloween. Being in that incorrect spirit removes the protection of the Lord from being on us as a people. All right? You don't want to be coming to or from some birthday party, which is an evil thing, and then the Lord put an evil spirit on a wicked man to hurt wicked people who do things the Lord said not to do. That protocol is already built into the law, and it will make sure that our people are safe by having the right spirit covering us. You got that scripture, Yaquab?
Come on, Khan. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, starting at verse 2. Thus saith the Most High, learn not the way of the heathen.
This is what God is saying. Contrary to what the Christian church teaches, you cannot learn about God without the Old Testament. All of the lessons that Christ was teaching were coming from the Old Testament examples. That's why he talked about Isaiah. That's why we talked about Moses. You understand? That's why he talked about Isaiah and Moses and Noah and Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. These were the lessons that they were talking about. Somebody said the audio is choppy. You might need to refresh your page, brother or sister, if you're getting it choppy. You might need to refresh the page. Anybody else hearing before I go forward? Anybody else hearing breaking up choppy? Shalom, sis. Y'all Shamal thought Shimmy have a shot. Anybody else getting choppy? Just give me a 1 if you hear me clear. If I'm coming in choppy, I guess give me a 2. Let's just check this real quick. All right. Let's just do a test. Everybody just give me some numbers. Let me know if you're able to hear me clear or if I'm breaking up. All right. I'm getting a 1. I'm getting 1s coming in clear. Yeah, sis, you might need to just refresh your page. Made a little adjustment a little while ago. You might need to just go on ahead and refresh it. All right, the water. Okay, I'm getting twos now. I got a couple of twos. Tazara and Hadassah, you might need to refresh your page. Everybody else is giving me ones. Okay, no sweat. No sweat. All right, we're getting the ones. The ones coming up. Good. One. All right, we got all ones. All right, go ahead. Just refresh your page. Should be good to go. All right, the water. Okay, pull up Sister Raya's question again, Baba Kishar, so that everybody can see what we are talking about. Protocols. You should be in contact with your camp leader. Every city, zone, state, country has a camp leader. This is what fake Israelites and Christians don't understand. Camp leader is someone appointed by the Lord to deal with all the matters and the affairs of the brothers and sisters who serve the Most High in that area, in that zone. You understand? Got connection to the Most High. Instructions from the power structure and the chain of command flowing from the Most High in Christ, sitting in the throne room in heaven, all the way down to Commanding General Yohana, to the generals, captains, and officers that are in authority, you understand, on the earth. That's how it's always been. That's how it will always be. Staying in the regular loop of the existing protocols will greatly add to the safety and the security of our people. You understand? Especially if you are a brother or a sister, you come into the truth, you want to make sure that you do that you're in regular good communication. All right. So go ahead, start what you got from the top again, Yaquab.
Khan, Book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 2. Thus saith the Most High, learn not the way of the heathen.
The Lord said, do not learn the customs of the heathen. The heathen is anyone that is not Black, Latino, or Native American. The problem is our people have learned all the customs of the heathen for the last hundreds of years because we've been in slavery. That's why we speak Spanish. That's why we speak English. That's why we speak French, Dutch, Arabic, Portuguese, all the languages that is not the Lashawan Quadash, which is our native language. If you are a so-called Negro, West Indian, Haitian, Latino, or the natives of the Americas that are now called Latino or Hispanic because of the white man from Spain and the white man from Italy and his Latin languages of French and Portuguese and Spanish and Italian. That's where the word Latin comes from. It has nothing to do with the descendants of the natives of North, South, Central America and the Caribbean, the Taino, the Maya, the Aztec, the Ladino, the Mapuche, you understand, the Olmec, the Toltec, all of them. They were not Spaniard white men or French or Portuguese or Dutch or Italian or German. God told us don't take the customs of the heathen. And because our people follow the customs of other races of people, we are constantly being hurt. We're constantly getting hurt. That's why there's fights break out at the birthday parties. That's why shootings break out at the birthday parties. That's why people get the date rape drugs at the Easter parties and the Valentine's Day party and the Halloween party. You understand? Because we are not supposed to take these customs and holidays of other races of people. That's why we get cancer, smoking weed, smoking cigarettes, smoking tobacco, smoking anything. That is a custom of the heathen. God told us not to take the customs of the heathen. And when we do, ourselves nodding off, eating out of a damn trash can, strung out on drugs, all in the streets, because we are not allowed by God to take their customs. All right. So the Lord said, don't learn the customs of the heathen. Keep going, Yaquab.
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Says, don't be troubled by the signs of heaven. The signs of heaven, you hear that very popular amongst Black women, talking about their astrological signs. I'm a Zodiac. I'm a Cancer. I'm a Capricorn. I'm a Virgo. All of those things. The Lord used to communicate with Adam using the stars. From the very beginning of the Bible, the Lord talked to and communicated with Adam. One of the ways was through the stars and the constellations. That's why there's corresponding communications or a story behind the different constellation. You got the lion and all of these different things there that, of course, once the white man got a hold of this information, which he was never supposed to do, because Adam's sons, who were the sons of God, that the white man's Christian church lies and say were angels, had sex with the daughters of men who were simply the other non-important races of people that God did not choose them to be special. They made children with a heathen mother and a father who was an Israelite, or a father who was the sons of Adam. The nation of Israel did not exist at that time. And the knowledge that those fathers had inherited from Adam gave those women, gave them an incentive to use that power and to not be righteous the way that the Lord intended for our children to be righteous, but to be cruel with knowledge, to rise in power and become violent and dictators, just like rich white men like Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump that kidnap and molest babies, or Ayatollah Khamenei, who just got killed in Iran, who executes protesters. You understand? They execute and unalive protesters, people who disagree with what they have to say, they kill them. You understand? They became tyrants because they were never supposed to have the knowledge that the Lord gave to Adam, that he gave.
So like the one you dropped out.
So, like, even 1 second, connection dropped. The white man is the devil the Bible speaks of. We'll get it back up again. Bear with just a moment. All right. White man is the devil. All right. Like, we should be good to go now. YouTube page is still, the video is choppy. Yeah, it's a lock. It's just, I'm not sure why it's saying that. Okay. All right. Y'all able to hear me good now? Keep going, Yakwa.
For the heathen are dismayed at them.
A heathen is dismayed. They're troubled by the signs and the stars because they have no connection to the Most High. It's easier for them to just worship the star. A piece of moon rock fell out the sky. And when that moon rock fell out the sky, they put a box around it. And that moon rock that fell out the sky is Allah today in Mecca. The Kaaba stone. There's a piece of rock fell out the damn sky. They circle that rock. They kiss the rock. Really, it's some rich family scamming all the poor people to pay thousands of dollars to go to Saudi Arabia to kiss that rock. They get filthy rich. The people go back home to their countries and starve and get killed because their rich religious leaders won't feed them. But they live in big palaces where they, have sex with little boys and little girls and take them out of school and marry them at 12 years old, just like Muhammad did, and starve their people to death and beat them if they complain. You understand? The Lord said, don't be like them. Well, this is an example. A heathen's custom is there. Now, the Lord said, don't follow the heathen. It makes the Lord angry. This is a very prominent one. Keep reading, Yaquab. And then I'm going to have you read, Yagador.
Verse 3. For the customs of the people are vain.
The customs that the people follow are vain. A birthday is a vain custom. In the religion of Satanism, which is the open worship of Satan, or who Christians believe Satan is, in the religion of Satanism, the highest day of celebration is the day of one's own birth. They celebrate that. The day of one's own birth, it is the Roman celebration of making yourself a god for a day. That's why they sing songs, take the food to you, they dedicate the dinner to you, they sing a worship song to you, they dedicate a cake to you. You understand? You're not allowed. The Bible says the Lord is a jealous God. The Christian church does not teach us that we are not supposed to worship our sons, our daughters, our children, our wives. Once we started to do that, now you have generation after generation of disrespectful, ungrateful, vain, arrogant, poorly behaved, entitled brothers, sisters, and children. That because it's your birthday or your special day, now you are just allowed to do and behave any way that you want. That is how a white man operates. Keep going. I'm going to answer your question. Keep going, Yaquab.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
This is talking about Christmas, cutting a tree out of the forest. This old custom that everybody attributes to the birth of Christ predates Christ by several thousands of years. Thousands, plural. Keep going.
The work of the hands of the workmen.
Listen in the stream yard, brother. The work of the workman. A man with his hands is going to cut down the tree that you are then going to sing to the tree, put the tree in your house, risk burning down your house, dried pine needles all on the floor. You're going to wrap it in electricity, set the damn tree on fire, become homeless, kill your wife and kids, worshiping Christmas that the Lord said not to do. Keep going.
With the axe.
Keep going, Yaquab. Keep going.
Verse 4. They deck it with silver and with gold.
They deck it. Deck means decorate. This is your Christmas songs that you hear. Deck the halls with boughs of holly. God said, do not do this. The biggest, most popular holiday of every year is Christmas. You understand? And God in the Bible told blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans to not celebrate Christmas. And from the time you are a baby, if you are born in the world to Christian parents, you will be looking forward to celebrating something that will make God hate you and hurt you at any point in time. You understand? This is why it's very important to come into the truth. Think of how many people that you know that celebrate Christmas. While you think about that, I'm going to let the brother keep reading. Keep going.
They fasten it with nails and with hammers.
They got to stand it up with nails and hammers. Keep going.
That it move not.
That the tree don't move. It's not alive. It's dead. You chopped it down. It's not going to move. But they want you to sing to it. They want you to worship it. Want you to decorate it. Keep going.
Verse 5. They are upright as the palm tree.
They're just like a palm tree. This is Christmas in the Bible. Christmas has nothing to do with Christ, but it does make God angry. It is a custom of the heathen that was around since Jeremiah's time, and everyone believes that they are celebrating the birth of Christ, are furious, and then their nieces and nephews and cousins go missing, and they put their pictures all over Facebook. Have you seen my niece? Have you seen my daughter? And they end up on the internet, and they end up, can you find her? Help me. The police won't do nothing. This is just one example of the customs of the heathen, like celebrating Easter, celebrating Christmas and Thanksgiving and Halloween. Evil happens to our people. That's why it's so important to know the commandments of the Lord are the built-in protocol that will always keep us safe. If your job, your slavery is having some holiday party, you should not be there. You are not required. You should not be there. You understand? You can't go along to get along. You can go along and die. The Lord gave us rules to follow, and we aren't allowed to break those rules. Not as a child, not as a teenager, not as a 20-year-old, not as an adult, not as a geriatric, not as an elder. We aren't allowed to break these rules. These rules will keep us alive, or these rules will be the reason why we die. But we must learn that, especially as more and more evil is poured out, because it's time for this American empire to end. All right? Now, give me what you got, Yagadar, please.
Come on, come. This is Matthew chapter 14, verse 6. But when Herod's birthday was kept,
he was having a birthday party. When Herod's birthday was kept,
the daughter
turn up for his birthday. He want to do something special. Keep going.
The daughter of Herodias danced before them.
The daughter dance. You got to dance for his birthday. You got to dance for his birthday. All right. All right. Dance for him for his birthday. She danced for him for his birthday.
And please, Herod.
Keep going. Herod was happy. He got himself a birthday dance. He having a ball. She danced for him. Now he's happy. He having a ball. She danced for him. Now he's happy. She danced for his birthday. Keep going.
Verse 7. Whereupon he promised with an oath to give her whatsoever she would ask.
Whatever she would ask, he's going to give it to her. It's a birthday present. Keep going.
Verse 8. And she, being before instructed of her mother,
please.
And she, being before instructed of her mother, said, give me here John Baptist's head in a charger. Salakia, Cap should be back in a second. We're gonna run this Passover commercial real quick. And if you haven't already, make sure y'all pay that Passover fee.
Shalom Israel, we're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, and you know what time it is. It's the Lord's 57th annual Passover, and it's going to be held in Houston, Texas on April 4th. Don't forget, bring your family, bring your friends, because this is going to be the time that so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans can come under one roof in one house and to serve the Lord. It's that time. $200 per person. Don't forget, over the age of 17. Don't forget the Lord's Passover. It's coming.
Kingdoms ours, all the heathens forbidden. The chosen bow down to no one. It was written.
All right, you want me to read that again from the top, bottom one? Salakia, sir, you want us to read it again from the top?
Khan, yes, I was speaking. I even shook my head.
All right,
I think it had me on mute. Can you hear me now?
I hear y'all the one. This is Matthew chapter 14, verse 8. And she, being before instructed of her mother, said, "Give me here John Baptist's head in a charger."
She said, "Give me John the Baptist's head on the charger." It was a birthday party. It was a birthday gift. She wanted John the Baptist's head as a gift. This is the spirit of these birthday parties. See, it may not seem that way. It just seemed like you want to dance and hang out and go have fun, get some drinks, have some cakes, get some sparklers. But the spirit of it is evil. It's an evil spirit and that don't look like it's evil. The scripture says there's a way that seemeth right unto a man. Meaning it seemed like it's not wrong with it, no problems, no real issues, but it seems like it's the right thing to do. But the end results, our people don't look at the results of something. It seemed like it was the right thing to do to get the man out the house. Nobody thought getting the man out of the house meant that daughters were going to all become teenage mothers. They thought that that meant your sons were going to get abused by the pastor and the basketball and the football coach. Nobody thought that by getting rid of the man out the house, it would destabilize the society. So now nobody has to stay with who they have sex with. They can come and go and leave a sister to raise babies by themselves. It didn't seem like that. It just seemed like, I'm tired of this man telling me to clean up, telling me what to cook, telling me what to wear. I want to wear whatever I want. And generations later, there's 2 million YouTube videos, sisters trying to find where's the men, where good. Like, it destabilized the society, but it seemed like it was the right thing to do at the time. That's why it's important to follow the prophets that the Lord set up that knew the end of something before, while everybody was excited about the beginning. Everybody was excited about them LGBT rights. You understand? It was so. Then you find out that all the ex-choir boys, they grew up and many of them became Kelly because they were getting abused on that choir. Wonderful music that everybody thought that was the sound of God because you got high and had an orgasm over the damn music just because niggas sing that's how you felt. You didn't know any better. That's why the Lord said take away the noise of the songs. That's another thing we should not use absolute place. You should not be going there. Not by invite, your mama, your cousin, your friends, not for a recital. You're clear evil place that the in the church. That's how Dylan Roof did it. That's how the Lord is not with such a place. These things anger the Lord, and as a result, they put our people in danger, which ties into what Sister Raya's question was. All right. So now we got a birthday party. John the Baptist gets beheaded as a gift for everybody. People birthday gift, to get gifts for Christmas, and if you to afford birthday gifts, to afford Christmas gifts, to afford to do these things, then you look at it as the filth and the scum of the earth.
You. Your woman hates you, the kids hate you, your mama hates you, your baby mama's mom hates you, and you're just trash.
Hate you, your mama hates you,
you understand? Then before you know it, you're too poor to even afford to come around. All right. The Lord told us, don't be this way. Don't base our lives and our society on the customs of the heathen. All right. So you can go ahead and drop that Yagadar at the water. Sister Rye had another question. The rest of y'all got questions, type them into the messenger when I get to these questions. All right.
So the next
you got another question asking about funerals.
We did have one right before the one with funerals. Out of one, Officer Yabakar. Hold on, let me make sure. Officer Yabakar said Salaki out of one.
Type your questions into the chat.
Officer Yabakar said Salaki out of one. Did Lot's daughters become part of the heathen nations, or did they just give birth to them?
No, that's a very good question. Lot's daughters, you cannot change your nation. You are only the seed of your father. Lot's daughters created something that introduced a common birth defect into the world from incest. And it's called something that is characteristic of Asians, and is called the Mongoloidism or Mongolism or the Mongoloid eye, something called the epicantic fold, where the skin between your eyebrow does not fully form and your eye is kind of just stuck into your face. You understand? And I'm going to show you a picture. This birth defect comes when you have too much of what they call now, too much of the same genes being put into the new children, because your mother and father are siblings, or they're relatives, close relatives, too much of the same close DNA, and it causes what the white man calls birth defects. I'm going to pull up epicantic fold.
I might have it right here. The one you want me to share it?
Please. This is what Lot's daughters did. For those of you that do not know, Lot and his daughters were in Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodom and Gomorrah is where they lived. This place was a very evil place. It was filled with homosexuality. It was the LGBT Mecca of the world. The Lord came to deliver Lot. He'd already gotten kidnapped once. Abraham had to go and fight to get him back. Then he had another fight. You understand? Lot was jammed up living in this evil place. In the city, when the angels, everybody knows the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, when the angels came to get Lot, they came to get him. The men of the city wanted to force the angels to have sex with him. They didn't know who he was. They didn't know. They just saw that there was somebody new in town that they never had sex with. So they were surrounded the house to force Lot, his two new male guests, to come out the house so that everybody in the town could violate these two new men just because they didn't know who they were, just because they was new. Well, the Lord burned Sodom and Gomorrah to the ground and everybody in it. It was 5 cities in the plain of Zoar, all right, that were burned to the ground. He rained sulfur and fire from the sky. Those angels came to get Lot and his family out. Lot's wife turned around and looked back, which she was instructed not to do because she loved Sodom and Gomorrah. That's still a problem to this day with black women loving gay men. They think it's funny, want to make him your buddy, you want to help him and talk about purse tips, and you ignore the fact that this is a man acting like a woman. He's got a bent wrist and he's child this and be that and giggling at your jokes, and you just treat him like one of the girls, like a dummy, which you absolutely should not do. That is not the spirit of the Lord. And without the co-signing of primarily sisters, this would have never gotten this far. You understand? Because that's who they imitate. A very arrogant, vain black woman. Because that's the purpose of the demon. The actual evil spirits are set up to fight against our people having the wrong spirit on them. You understand? That's what it is. All right. So this epicantic fold, after the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, these two daughters saw everything that they grew up with gone. All the people they knew were burned up. Every place they'd ever lived was destroyed. Their stores, their schools, the markets, the farms, their friends, the people they got in arguments with at school, all of them are dead and gone. They figured that life had ended. So what these two silly daughters of Lot's did, you understand, that's why it's important to have your children in the truth. Bring them to class so that they can learn, so they don't do dumb, childish, teenage little kid things that will cause them to make a permanent, life-changing decision that they do not understand, that the Bible has warnings against them doing, to teach the severity of their actions, like having sex, that teenagers play with sex, children play with sex, when it is a life and death decision that you can ruin your life or ruin somebody else's life. You can bring a new life into the world, or you can cause many people to lose their lives by who you choose to have sex with, that kids play with, that they don't realize how serious it is. You understand that the Lord has rules about who you can and cannot have sex with, and he will kill you for having sex with the wrong people and having the wrong kind of sex, and you will die at whatever age you are for not understanding the Lord has life, death rules about this and many other things. That's why the Bible says, teach these things diligently unto thy children before they learn anything else. If you've given 10 or 15 years to let the video games and the rappers and the TV and Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B and all the girls and children at the school to raise your kids in the movies and the sitcoms, you are behind. You understand? That's why everybody need to come into the UPK. We'll stop going missing. We'll stop getting killed in the streets. You understand? This is what's needed. Lot's daughters got him drunk. And then they each took turns having sex with their father. One of the daughters got pregnant and she gave birth to the Moabites, or the so-called the Asians that are the Chinese, the biggest family of the Asians, the so-called Chinese, which is a good percentage of your Asians. The other daughter got pregnant and she had what was known as the Ammonites, or the children of Ammon, or the Japanese, which is a smaller portion of the Asian families. They have this characteristic eye that you see, and see if you can get one of them. See if you can get one of them Yaquab so you can zoom, Yagadar, so that you can zoom in on that eye so they can see it. Where the eye does not fully form. You understand? See if you can pull up a Chinese man, Chinese woman, so you can see how a regular normal eye is, and then their eye is kind of closed. It isn't fully open. Click the picture so you can make it bigger, Bubba Kashaw, if you could. Everybody able to see this? Give me some ones if you're able to see this. Click the individual picture to make it bigger. The normal eye, you'd have an eyebrow and all of that. But you see here, it's just like an eye in the middle of the face. There's no eyebrow. There's none of the part that goes above your eye. You understand? The eyelid. It's just an eye slapped in the middle of your face. Well, this is one of the symptoms for what Lot's daughters did. You understand? Now, I want you to look up Down syndrome, which also comes as a part of this gene from having too much of the same line of genetics, a lot of inbreeding and incest with your mother is your sister and your uncle is your dad. A lot of those heels have eyes type things. This is what Lot's daughters brought into the earth because they were simple. They were simple. You understand? They got their dad drunk. They got him drunk, and then they each took turns having sex with him, thinking that they wanted to preserve his seed. So they were going to have babies for their dad. You understand? Now take a look at the pictures here. See if you can zoom in on one of them. This is what Lot's daughters did. So they did not become part of the heathen nation, but their children became heathen. Now, when the Jewish man talks about anti-Semitic, which is wrong, because the man's name is Shem. It is Shemitic. Shem is damn near everybody. The white man comes from Shem because of Isaac and Rebekah had Jacob and Esau. All of them come from Abraham. Abraham comes from Shem. So the Chinese and the Japanese, they are Shemitic because they come from Lot. Lot is Abraham's cousin or nephew. They come from the same family. They all come from Shem. The Chinese, all the Asians, they are Shemitic because they come from Lot, what I just said. The Arabs are Shemitic because they come from Ishmael. Ishmael is one of Abraham's sons. Abraham comes from Shem. They are Shemitic. Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans come from Jacob. Jacob comes from Isaac and Rebekah. Isaac comes from Abraham and Sarah. Also Shemitic or Semitic, as the Jewish white man says incorrectly. This is as a result. These are the things here. Give me a couple of more pictures. All right, that's good. Throughout, everybody can see that. That's where it comes from. All right. So the Lord made them their own separate nations afterwards. They were not a continuation of Lot's seed. They became something else because those two daughters did something evil in the earth. Even though they may not have thought that this was evil, there are laws in the Bible that you cannot have sex with your father. You cannot have sex with your mother. You cannot have sex with your father's other wives. You cannot have sex with your father's other children. Even if these children are not from your mother, they're from his other woman. You still cannot have sex with them. You can't have sex with your stepbrother and your stepsister. You cannot have sex with your wife and her sister and her children. You cannot do that. The Lord gave very specific laws to make sure that we are not heathen, having orgies and freak-offs and threesomes and you and your twin sister and you and your mama for drugs and weed and cocaine and passing you around to the homeboys. We're not allowed to do that. If you do that, chances are you might get yourself shot to death. That's why a whole ton of these murders and things happen, especially amongst our teenagers, especially amongst our children. who do not know the laws of God because they've been raised with stupid Christmas and Easter and birthdays and not the laws of God. This puts them in danger. That's another very important protocol. A lot of the things that the Lord has happening would not affect us at all as a people if we just obeyed the Lord. You understand? It wouldn't affect us at all. We'd be on our side of whatever city, state, town, or country, and then all the curses and evil would happen outside of where we are. But because we got wicked leaders that don't obey the Lord, which the Lord is gradually wiping them out. Barakatah Yahweh Yahweh Shah. From old civil rights Negroes like Jesse Jackson, to John Lewis, to Christian preachers and churches, they're getting wiped out. You understand? All right. So that was a good question, Officer Yabakar. Let's get the next question.
All right, the next question. I believe you already answered this when she Aqua Faraya was asking, was that to be reported? I think that was talking about the report for Passover and so forth. I believe you answered that.
All right. No, she had another question. She had another question about funerals.
She does. I'm going to that one next.
Let's get it.
All right, so Aqua Faraya asked Salakia, are funerals allowed, and how is this different from the birthday?
All right. Give me precious to the Lord, the death of his saints. Find me that, Yaquab. Give me better is the end of a thing than the beginning. Find that also. Yagador. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning. Precious to the Lord is the death of his saints. The Lord is, I'm not going to say more concerned, but the Lord is more about the end of a thing because he's the beginning and the end. Everybody celebrates something at the beginning. It's full of potential and all of that. The Lord is more concerned with what did you actually do? What did you do once the movie got started? And I'm trying to see how can I explain it over that. Burying the dead is our custom. Putting the dead into the ground is our custom. Mourning for the dead, that's our custom. That's Israelite custom. You take the dead, they go into the ground. They go into the ground, they go into the tomb, they are buried. That's our custom. It's not a party. We're not happy and dancing and singing. It's sadness and mourning because we serve the God of the living and not the God of the dead. You understand? But we do also understand that our people don't stay dead, that the spirit rises again. That's why when a brother or sister dies, we say, may he or she rise again. Because reincarnation is in the Bible, and the summary of what you did with your life is nigh unto more important than what you could have done with your potential when you were born. You got a ton of potential when you were a newborn baby. Everybody want the best for you in most cases. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's wonderful. You look just like your mama. Great. You got all these wonderful hopes and want you to do better and all of this stuff here. Now that the movie is at the end, what the hell did you do? What did you do with that life, with the time that the Lord appointed to you? That's what the Lord is concerned about. That doesn't mean he's not concerned about you being born, taken care of, but the Lord is very concerned about how you lived this life. What did you do? Because it's appointed a man wants to live, then comes the judgment, then comes the grade of how you lived your life. You understand? That is very important to the Lord because that's what you get judged on. The baby ain't done nothing yet. The baby is born again, living out the reward or punishment from the previous life. Did you get it better? Did you get it right? Did you correct what you did wrong the last time? You were an evil bastard the last time you were born. Did you improve any? The first time that Christ was born, he was incarnated as Adam. Adam messed up. He fell weak underneath of his wife, Eve. The next time Christ was incarnated, he was Melchizedek. There's no record of his life. He took tithe from Abraham after Abraham fought to free Lot. The first time he got kidnapped, which we were just talking about a second ago. He was the high priest of a never-ending priesthood, which is the one that we are under now. You understand? The next time after was King Solomon. King Solomon was the wisest man that ever lived, but he messed up marrying heathen women. He fell weak underneath Hotel again. He caused the nation to be split up. Then we became a northern and a southern kingdom. He messed up again, falling weak under women. The last time he came, he had no woman at all. He figured out the solution to his problem or the issue. He got it perfect this time. This incarnation, he was Yahweh Shai, or the Christ. He improved on the previous incarnations of his life. He improved. John the Baptist was Isaiah, or Isaiah the prophet. You understand? Isaiah did an excellent job when he was born. When he came back and was born again as John the Baptist, he failed. He dropped the ball. He was supposed to turn over everything and follow Christ, and his disciples were supposed to become Christ's disciples. He did not. He continued when he was supposed to stop. He did not do a good job the next life he got. Isaiah did a good job. John the Baptist did a poor job. You understand? Precepts. Greater is any than John the Baptist. Those that have not seen him, they are all greater than John the Baptist. That's in the New Testament. John the Baptist did not do a good job, even though the Christian church teaches you to worship John the Baptist like he was a great man of God. He had a time and he failed. He had a job to do and he did not continue in what he was supposed to do. He was not in the truth. He failed. All right. So we'll come to your question. Just a second, sis. All right. So what do we got? Sister Rise, question. Give me them scriptures I call for. Yaquab, what you got?
The book of Psalms, chapter 116, verse 15. Precious in the sight of the Most High is the death of his saints.
In the sight of the Lord, the death of his saints is precious. There are laws in the Bible, just like there are laws that you have to bury your dead. That's a commandment. There are laws about burying the dead. There's laws about being around the dead. The death of his saints, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the saints. Like, you're supposed to have honor in your death. You aren't supposed to get shot down in the streets or die of AIDS or cancer, something terrible, some curse that was never supposed to be on us as a people. We are supposed to learn. We are also supposed to evaluate so that we can do better with who is still alive. You understand? There's a lot of things and lessons that the Lord wanted us to learn about death, that because of Christianity, we don't learn any lesson because they have us singing and dancing and believing in fairy tales. We don't ever learn anything. All right? Give me the laws. I want to go over this on dieth in a tent. Should be in Numbers. Find dieth in a tent, Yaquab. The water. Give me what you got, Yagador.
Come on. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 8. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof.
Better is the end of something. Everybody liked the beginning of it. You ever watched the movie and the trailer was so good, you like, damn, I got to see this movie. This is going to be good. This is going to be real good. It's got my favorite actor. I see that scene. I'm waiting for that scene to pop up in the movie. Then you go see the movie and you like, man, this movie is trash. This is terrible. I wasted my time and money going to see this, man. This is a terrible movie. It's a flop. It's not a hit. It's garbage. I can't get this time back. Well, the Lord said better is the end of something than the beginning, because in the beginning, you can't tell what it's going to be. Everything and everyone is not to be celebrated. Again, the Christian church teaches us that God loves everybody. God does not love everybody. God don't care about everybody. You might love everybody. You might want what's best for everybody. God does not. God wants people that don't obey him to get hurt so that the people will learn to obey him if the people who don't obey him don't stop. The Lord said, I have stretched forth my hand and nobody regarded. Therefore, when you cry unto me, I shall laugh at you. When your trouble come, I'm going to laugh. I'm going to see how your end turns out. When I told you to not get high, to not be a drug dealer, nobody wanted to hear us saying, don't be drug dealers. Don't get high. You cannot do that. Well, okay. You don't want to hear the word of the Lord? The Lord said, once you get jammed up, then I'm going to laugh at you. As you call and scream to me for help, I'm going to laugh because you didn't give a damn when I gave the warning. Now you know I'm serious because I'm tired of being disrespected. Everybody think it's a joke. Now you have to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Before, the only thing you were supposed to know is just do what I say. Now you get to eat the evil part, which is, the consequences of not doing what I say. I tell you, don't jump from the top step. If you're a little kid, you jump from the top step. One day you slip, you hurt your ankle. Now you've eaten from the tree of the knowledge of good, which is what I told you. And now you eat the knowledge of evil, which is the consequence for not doing what I said. Told you don't play in the street. Now you play in the street, you're running in the street, you get clipped by a car. Now you've eaten from the knowledge of good, which was the instructions that I gave you. Now you eat the evil part too. I tell you, don't run in the house. You run in the house, you slip and fall, bam, slam your mouth on the floor, you bust your lip. Wham, mommy, daddy. Now you've eaten from the knowledge of good, which was me telling you not to run. If you obeyed me, everything would have been straight. But I told you not to run and you did it anyway repeatedly. Now you fall, you bust your lip. Now you've eaten the knowledge of the evil part about disobeying me. You understand? That's what was in the bottom. That's what's in the book of Genesis. It was never a literal tree that you couldn't eat this forbidden fruit like the white man tells you. It was knowledge that you were not supposed to have for things you were told not to do. It wasn't no damn apple you wasn't supposed to eat. You understand? The white man is the devil and a liar. And unfortunately, you've learned about God from the white man your entire life. That's why nothing makes any goddamn sense. Got naked babies with wings and rabbits and stuff and all kind of silly shit. Fat men coming down your chimney. You work overtime to get gifts for your kids. Some white bastard come once a year. He get all the praise. You done sweated out your hair. You're thinning your edges. You're going gray. Your feet hurt. Your back hurt. Working overtime. Goddamn Santa Claus get all the credit for all your Christmas gifts. Then they turn around and look at you. You couldn't get no better gifts? God damn it, mommy. What did I tell you I wanted? The Lord said we're not supposed to do that. But this is what fills our life. That's why we don't know nothing as a people. And everybody takes advantage of us. All right. But read that what you got one more time, Yaquab. Yagadar. Yeah.
Come. Select Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 8. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof.
It's better you find out the end of it. What did you do with this life? Celebrating the life of Jesse Jackson and celebrating the life of, what did the nigga do while he was alive? Did he encourage everyone to kill their babies? Did he do something that caused us to lose 20 million babies? Did he encourage sisters to become murderers to kill our babies? Did he take away the respect that we had for having sex with one another because life would be formed and we couldn't just murder our way out of the situation? That's why the Lord said better is the end, so we can see who this person was. You could be fooled for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. But now let's examine what this person's life was about. You understand? Did they shoot everybody in the neighborhood like King Von? Did they travel and do a bunch of damn murders? You understand? What the hell are you celebrating him for? The Bible says, envy not the glory of a sinner or the wicked. There's too much celebration. Everything don't call for a damn celebration. You understand? But yes, funerals is our custom. We go and we don't throw a party. We go and put somebody in the ground and be sad and be unclean. All right. And then we pray that they rise again, and we console the family who lost the loved one. We're not throwing a party, singing. They up there with Jesus and Big Mama singing songs, playing the piano with Ray Charles and Michael Jackson. All of that's a damn lie. When you die, you are dead. Your body goes to the earth, to the worms. Your spirit goes to the Lord to be judged. Then in a few generations, another brother and sister have sex. The Lord puts that spirit back in a baby, being formed in a mother, in a sister, for about 9-10 months, hopefully, get good and healthy. Her water breaks. Now that same person with a brand new life gets born to a new brother and sister with a new body, and now they are back into the earth again, hopefully to do a better job than the last life that they lived. The Christian church doesn't teach you get evaluated every time you live your life by the Lord, because they don't teach us that the Lord has instructions about what we are or are not supposed to do, how we're supposed to live, what we're supposed to eat, how we deal with each other, how we dress, how we deal with a problem and conflict. All of these instructions are what we are graded on. Now, give me the law you got that I told you, dieth in a tent. Give me that. Yaquab.
The book of Numbers, chapter 19, verse 14. This is the law. This is the law.
The rules, the instructions. God gave us instructions. The law about what?
When a man dieth in a tent.
When a man or a woman dies in a house, a tent, a building. When someone dies in a place, what are the rules? And it's so stupid for the Christian church to say that God's laws are done away with, because people are dying all the time. They got a funeral home. They have a funeral process. Everything that the Lord instructed us to do, the oppressor has turned into a business. One of the most successful businesses in any city, especially a dangerous city, is the funeral home. You understand? Everybody gonna have to do business with the funeral home. They the ones driving the Lincolns, the Cadillacs, the Fleetwoods, the limos. You understand? The stretch this, the stretch that. That's where all the money is in the city. Them and the garbage man. Well, the Lord gave us instructions on how to do this as a part of our culture. The other races of people were throwing their dead bodies in the water and poisoning the goddamn water. You seen Game of Thrones and those old TV shows with the knights where they wearing the fur and fighting with swords and stuff. Well, when one of them die, they put them on a damn raft and cover the raft in the straw and just send the damn bloody dead body floating out to sea. And then they shoot a flaming arrow to set the damn body on fire. That is not what you're supposed to do with your dead. You don't just leave it in the field for the crows and rats and mice and to spread disease everywhere. That's what the oppressors did. But that's not our custom. Keep going.
All that come into the tent.
Everybody that goes into the house where someone dies, whether it's the hospital, whether it's the morgue, whether it's the funeral home, whether, somebody found dead or passed away in their home or your home, or the McDonald's and somebody have a stroke and die there. Everyone that goes inside of that place, keep going.
And all that is in the tent.
Everything that's inside of that place where that dead body is, keep going.
Shall be unclean 7 days.
Is unclean for 7 days. For 7 full days. If you go into a house where someone dies, where the body is being held, or the morgue, or the funeral home, you are unclean for 7 days. Anybody that goes in there is unclean for 7 days. That's why when the brother said, one of the disciples said, I must go first, bury my father. Now, this is what Christ told one of the disciples. He told them, let the dead bury the dead. Let your aunts and your cousins and them do that burial. You are needed to do the work of the Lord. You understand? We can't go to everybody's funeral. Not if we got to be at camp. Not if we got to do the work of the Lord. Not if we got to go and say the work of the Lord on the streets and prophesy to raise up the nation. You can't be there at everybody's funeral. You understand? Of course, this was at a time when we were short as a nation. Christ had to start over with the disciples. You understand? He had to raise up new disciples because everybody else was following the Sadducees and Pharisees. All right? But this is the law. And that's why he said it. Keep going.
Verse 15. And every open vessel.
Everything that's open, anything that doesn't have a top, all of that is unclean. All the stuff that's in it is unclean. If you go there, it's unclean. If you go to the cemetery, which is the house of the dead, the grave site, you get out of your car and you step on the ground inside of that cemetery, driving through them crooked pathways, you are unclean for 7 days. Anyone that touches you is unclean until the sun goes down. If they touch you again, who is unclean for 7 days, because you've touched the dead body, because you went into the house of the dead body, or the cemetery, or the funeral home, or the morgue, or any tent or housing whereon a dead body is, you are unclean for 7 days. And if anybody touches you, they are unclean until the sun goes down. If they touch you again, once the sun goes down, they are unclean again until the next time the sun goes down. That's why we have laws about separation. That's why we have laws and rules, so that whatever reason why this person died doesn't happen or get on you too. If they're sick, they got a disease, they had some illness. You understand? Once their body starts to decompose and all the bugs and bacteria and germs start to eat up the flesh, that's why it goes into the ground, so it can return back to the dust, back to the earth. That's our custom. Not throwing a body in the woods, not throwing a body in the damn river, polluting the damn water. You understand? Which is what the heathen do. That's why their land is full of diseases, unless they try to adapt our culture in the Bible. Then they set up cemeteries or the place or the house of the dead. You understand? So that was important to get. But to answer Sister Raya's question, I also want you to get me in the Apocrypha, the father afflicted with untimely mourning. I want you to get me that as well, because there's also a law to not do something that most blacks and Latinos, not most, let me not say most, but many blacks and Latinos do this, which we are not supposed to do, which it is a very common thing to do that makes the Lord angry, which you are not allowed to do. But it's the natural thing that most of our people do when someone died. Give me father afflicted with untimely mourning. All right. You'll see these all throughout the hood, especially if somebody gets shot, somebody gets killed, you know, some baby, some brother, some sister, they get gunned down in some tragedy. The Lord gives us instructions. The scripture says that Satan will come to you with a solution in your sadness, in your trouble, in your pain. You understand? That's why it says, with wise counsel shalt thou make thy warfare. That's why you're supposed to check in with your camp leader. Brothers and sisters, especially sisters, because the things that go through a woman's brain is just not safe. This ain't safe. You understand? And a good amount of brothers ain't thinking all that clear either. You got to come into the truth to get help with your thinking. All right. Let me know once you find it. Father afflicted. Shalom. Shisha Brigatav Taza. Give me that.
Salaki, sir.
Come on with it. You got afflicted with untimely mourning in the Apocrypha.
Khan, I have it, sir. Wisdom of
All right,
Solomon.
go ahead.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 15.
Hold
For
on one
a
second.
father.
Don't sweat it. Go ahead, Yaquab. Come on with it. Salaki.
Khan. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 15. For a father afflicted with untimely mourning.
A father afflicted with untimely mourning. Baby girl was not supposed to die like this. My son then got shot up in the street. My little brother then got killed. You understand? This was not supposed to happen. Keep going.
When he hath made an image of his child soon taken away.
He made an image of his child. Rest in peace to Nate. Rest in peace to Little Stink. Baby girl, we gonna miss you. Baby boy, we gonna miss you. I'm gonna see you on the other side. Your rest in peace t-shirts. You understand? He made an image because he wasn't supposed to die. Wasn't supposed to go like this. He was only 15. He was only 12. She was only 9. Straight bullet then came through the wall. The baby died for no reason. We hurt. We in pain. We suffering. But we want to honor this baby. I want to honor my little boy, my girl, my sister, my brother, my cousin, my nephew, my friend. We want to honor them to show them that we love them and we won't forget about them. In your pain, there is still rules. There's still rules. This is what most brothers and sisters don't learn. The thing we've instinctively been taught to do, just growing up as blacks and Latinos, angers the Lord. Matazah, give me cuttings in your flesh for the dead in the law. Keep going, Yaquab.
Now honored him as a god.
Now he becomes a god. He's a block legend. King Von died. His picture is up on the wall. People coming to take pictures at the King Von mural. People coming in Brooklyn to take pictures of the Biggie Smalls mural. Take pictures next to the Big Pun mural. Goddamn Martin Luther King got a statue. Taking pictures next to the Martin Luther King statue. Come to the Lincoln Memorial to stand next to Lincoln in a big chair being honored as a god. Well, the Lord said, ye shall have no other gods before me. Everybody becomes a god. The Lord say, vengeance is mine, right? But once your homeboy, your nephew get killed, what is everybody in the neighborhood saying? We sliding for Vaughn. We sliding for Vaughn. Vaughn is on my hat. Vaughn is on my shirt. Vaughn is on the wall. We holding down the hood. We doing this for Vaughn. We killing for Vaughn. We killing for Bebe. We killing for Peaches. You understand? Now, in the midst of your pain and your hurt, all of the laws and rules that the Lord puts in place to make sure that our society doesn't descend into us acting on our pain, on our anger. Be ye angry and sin not. That goes out the window. Bear no grudge against the children of thy people. That goes out the window. Hate not thy brother in thy heart. Suffer not sin upon them. That goes out the window. You understand? For the Lord shall rise up against them and take vengeance. Vengeance is mine. All of that goes out the window. You understand? You get that t-shirt on. We remembering how they did that. And, you know, it's time to get revenge. It's time to take matters into our own hand. Before you know it, we got a 20, 30-year beef all over every city over who killed who last. And nobody know why it started. Like, these are things, it don't seem like that. Daddy just trying to honor his son. Mama just trying to honor her daughter. But it's some people that really cared about that son, that really cared about that daughter, and they not going to let it go that somebody killed their friend. They're not willing to let it go. They're not willing to let bygones be bygones and have, the Lord work it out. That's why you got to come to the priest of the Lord with the spirit of the Lord, so that we can get in the middle of the matter and get the wise counsel from the Lord. Keep going, Yaquan.
Which was then a dead man.
He's a dead man. Your life is over. Now your spirit come back to the Lord, but you keeping in for the sake of your pain. You keeping that alive. And Christians do that, and you absolutely should not do this. You should not paint a picture on the wall of your dead relative. You should not go to the cemetery visiting every year. Nate would be, Keon would be 45. Your grandmama, she'd be 81 if she was still alive. Your mama might be 58 if they didn't get her, if she didn't die. Like, you visiting and counting another evil thing, birthdays the Lord said not to do. You're worshiping the dead. You got an idol for somebody whose life is over, which the Lord said not to do. That spirit is going to come back into the earth again, that you think is up in heaven dancing with Michael Jackson and Jesus and Martin Luther King, which is a fairy tale and a lie. People down here, everybody all twisted up can never move past hurt, pain, or a traumatic event, because everyone must stay there. Keep going.
And delivered to those that were under him ceremonies and sacrifices.
Now, before you know it, we having birthday parties for a dead man. That's how holidays come about. Martin Luther King is dead. Now we celebrating him every year. Uncle so-and-so been dead 5-6 years. We having birthday parties for a dead man. Like, this is insane. The President's Day, they celebrating the dead presidents. St. Patrick's Day, he dead and gone. He got a whole day now. Christopher Columbus, dead and gone. We celebrating Christopher Columbus. Like, the Lord does not want us to have our lives revolve around these things. They may seem innocent and harmless till you see the evil that happens when we celebrate these things. You understand? All right. DMX did something on his album. Pull up the album cover for Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood, Yagadar. I want you to pull up that album cover. Pull up the back of it. DMX dropped 2 albums in 1 year, and they were crazy. His friend named Boomer died, dealing with all the pain and suffering that this brother would rap about all the time. And because he was a Christian, he would talk about God, because Christianity teaches you to talk about God. But he did not know these laws that God set up so that he could actually know God. Not a personal relationship where I do whatever and then I say words about God and it make everybody feel some kind of way. Where the Lord gave me instructions to live my life so that I don't die from smoking crack and having heart attacks at 50. You understand? That's why the Lord said better is the end of a thing. So we can see how this movie actually turned out. That everybody's, you see this here? This brother DMX is covered in blood. Now, whether it's real blood, goat blood, pig blood, whatever, but he is simulating being covered in blood. Why is he covered in blood? The title of the album is Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood. On his back, what does it say on the back of his back? The first album, it said Boomer. It said One Love. My fallen homies, my fallen friend, he's covered in the blood of his brother. Flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood. Now, it was a damn good album. Give me the front. Give me the front page of the album. Give me the album cover. In our pain and our suffering. No, the actual album cover. See, it's all covered in blood. It was a bad album. The first one went platinum. See, that's the album cover. He is covered in blood. He's simulating being covered in blood. Why is he simulating being covered in blood? Because friend after friend is getting killed. My life is filled with so much pain, so much hurt, so much all of these things. And he came to the truth and got counsel about his pain instead of turning to the world and Christianity, which had nothing for him. You understand? This brother might still be alive to this day. This is a brother that's in tremendous pain. He sent this image to the entire world.
All right.
I'm covered in blood. This was the album cover. This album sold like 3-4 million copies. You understand? But this just goes to show the Lord don't want us to have that spirit. This brother is sick. But yet and still in his sickness, he became a great entertainer. But that didn't negate the fact that this was sick. His pain made him sick. The loss of his friends made him sick. Him worshiping the dead made him sick till he covered himself in fake blood at work. This is his job. This brother was sick. You understand? This is the spirit that comes even though you don't think this is what it's about. That's why the Lord said, don't do this. It started somewhere. Now we're covering ourselves with blood, singing about we pray to God, and then the next song is we're going to go do a bank robbery, and one more of my friends get killed.
Right.
You understand? This is the spirit. And you might say it's just music, it's just entertainment. I said the same thing. I DJed for many years, but I've also been a priest and prophet of the Lord for over a decade as well. And that is a spirit that's on this brother and has been on this brother. You understand? And it's on many of our brothers and sisters. And we are damaged from taking the customs of the heathen that the Lord said not to do, that we went over at the beginning of the class. You understand? He don't know that the dead friend's blood he's covered in, they're going to live again in another 1 or 2 generations. You don't know that. Christian church didn't teach him that. All right. The water, go ahead and take that picture down. Give me cuttings in thy flesh for the dead. And then I'm gonna move to the other sister's question in Glen Island somewhere. Glen was another sister had a question. Sister, I'm coming to your question. Just a second.
Colonel Khan, this is Leviticus chapter 19, verse 28. Ye shall not make cuttings in your flesh for the dead.
You are not allowed to cut in your flesh for the dead. Yaga dog, give me some rest in peace tattoos. Pull them up on the screen. You are not allowed. The Africans and Hamites, they would cut sacrificial ceremonial markings in their flesh for the ancestors, for the dead. If you've seen the movie The Woman King with Viola Davis, if you could stomach that garbage of women pretending to be superhuman Amazons beating strong African tribal men in fist fights, in sword fights, if you could stomach it long enough, that Hollywood witchcraft, they were constantly cutting their flesh. They did ceremonial cuttings. The little girl, she cutting in her skin. They cutting her, she bleeding. She like, damn, what you cutting me for? She like, this is our way. Come and slit my arm and put some blood in the bowl, drink the goddamn bowl, spreading hepatitis, all kind of stuff. Rest in peace tattoos. You are not supposed to get rest in peace tattoos. You're not supposed to get tattoos or any cuttings in your flesh or printing any marks on you for any reason. Not on your feet, not on your hand, not on your chest, your back, your neck, teardrops. Rest in peace, mama. Get your mama name on your stomach, on your chest, the name of your gang. Rest in peace to my little brother, the date he was born, the date he died. You are not allowed to do this. This is a heathen custom. You understand? And there's spirits behind these tattoos. There's spirits behind what's known as the tramp stamp, the tattoo over a woman's lower back. You understand? She can go and run the streets and pass their tail out like candy at Halloween to everybody. There's a spirit, this Christian spirit of praying hands. We're not going to stop selling drugs, but we're going to get a tattoo of the praying hands and the Virgin Mary. that means that they're going to kill everybody because they got that praying tattoo. Only God can judge me. That means that they're going to do everything they can to get before an actual judge to find out that more people can judge them besides God. You understand? That's a bad spirit. It comes with a spirit. Chest tattoos and all kind of tattoos. It's saying something. It's bold and defiant, all up and down your arm. You understand? It comes with spirits. The other nations of people tattoo themselves to embody spirits for their culture. We are not allowed to do this. It teaches our people. You see tons of bad behavior. Bunch of tattoos all on your face and back and chest come along with a terrible drug addiction. Lots of smoking, lots of pills and cocaine. And you understand? And before you know it, they in rehab somewhere or they overdosing somewhere. The Lord told us don't take their customs because there's a spirit that goes along with their customs. Even though you just see a damn tattoo, it's fun, it's popular, it doesn't really mean anything. That is wrong. You don't know the end of what you're doing. You just see the fun of what it is now. That's why the Lord said, better is the end of a thing than the beginning. Niggas getting tattoos in other languages. You got Arabic written on your foot, written on your hand, but you don't speak Arabic. You got Chinese on your neck, but you don't speak Chinese. You got Japanese on your back. You don't speak Japanese. You got old Chinese sayings and proverbs, but you don't know the culture. Those are not your people. You understand? They selling you Chinese tattoos. You know how the Chinese get rich? Selling wings and cheese steaks to you in the ghetto. That's how they get their money. Not from their wise Chinese sayings that you get scribbled all up and down your damn back. You understand? They sell cell phones that black people invented, video games that black people invented, laptops that black people invented. That's how they get rich. Not selling you tattoos thinking you getting Chinese wisdom from the damn Dalai Lama. The Lord does not want us to be a sucker following behind another nation of people, which is what we have become, and they rise very high above us. Somebody said, Salakia?
Come on, sir. Quick question,
you
sir.
Good, Yakadar. Take it down. Go ahead, Yaquad. What you saying?
Tattoos in I'm just trying to get a further understanding on it. Tattoos would fall up under idol worship, right?
He's reading it right now. He's reading the law. Tattoos fall under this exact law that's being read right now. Whoever was reading the tattoo law started from the top. Hit it one more time.
Wakan, this is Leviticus chapter 19, verse 28. Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead.
Give me some of them African pictures, Yagadar. That's right, sis. Don't know what the hell them Chinese done scribbled all over you. The Lord said, don't make cuttings in your flesh for the dead. Somebody died, you get a rest in peace tattoo, or you get tribal markings. All of your gang pictures is marks for the dead homies, for the neighborhood, or a hood that don't even exist anymore in many cases. The Lord said, don't put cuttings in your skin. This is what the heathen do. They take a perfectly good face and take a goddamn switchblade and chop up a woman's face and chop up a man's face to put tribal markings on there. Then they come to America and become your damn supervisor and put makeup on and pretend like they're the smartest people in the world. When their village has been passing hepatitis across the goddamn Serengeti for the last 40 goddamn years, sharing bloody needles, cutting up the face. See this here, them cut marks all in the face? God said, don't learn their customs. God said, don't learn their customs. You see them lines cut all in the face, all in the head? God said, don't do that. You're going to get hepatitis, sharing bloody razor blades, slitting your damn face open. You understand? Lord said, don't do that. All right, the water, that's enough. Printing while you see her, they done cut her face all up. All right, the water, Yagadog. Go ahead and finish that scripture.
Younger ball.
Nor print any marks upon you.
Don't print no marks on you. That's tattoos. God said, don't put no marks, don't print any marks on you. They do that henna. Sisters love that damn henna. Them East Indians put that henna on their body when they getting ready to have their East Indian marriage. Those East Indians hate you. They hate black people. You understand? They can't stand you. Cardi B did something pretending to be one of their gods some years ago, and all the East Indians called her dumb nigger girl. Dumb nigger girl. Don't wear our gods. Don't make fun of our gods. Don't make like this is something for you. We the only people that think that God is for everybody. No other race of people want you to serve their God. Like you're going to be equal to them in their culture with their God. They know that their God is to make them strong and to dominate you.
That's right.
And that's what God is for. That's why it's the power. Our God is to make us strong and dominate all the other people. Allah is to make the Arabs strong to dominate all the other people. White Jesus, Caesar Borgia is to make the white man strong to dominate all the other people. That's the purpose. That's why everybody has their own God. But ours is the real one. You understand? All right, so the water on that. Sister, I think Sister Sherelle had a question. Find me that question. She had a question about something.
Salakia, sir.
Nation. Go
Salakia,
ahead.
sir, you had a question from Aquaf Azara Kai and then Aquaf Chanel.
All right, give me a Zaraka.
She said, Salakia, sir, are the so-called Native American names that we see today as street/area names and in history books a transliteration of Hebrew names? Example,
No. No. Those names that we call those Gadite tribes, those are names that white people made up. White people made up most of them names. The Gadite tribes had different languages, and the names that they called each other was whatever Op meant in their language. I think it was the Comanche and the Kiowa, the Apache and the Comanche over on the plains, and they had names for each other. And the names that one called the other is these the niggas who rob us. And the names they called the other one is like these the ops. They over the west side ops. You understand? That's the names that the white man took and named them. The Navajo are not called Navajo. The Navajo are called the Dine. They've never called themselves Navajo. The white man told the country that these are the Navajo people. They've never called themselves the Navajo. They called themselves the Dine. The white man said, okay, you're a Navajo, Arapaho, Cheyenne. The name of Mississippi, many of the names of the places are named after Gadite words that are named after ancient Hebrew, that are many broken after generation of generation of not keeping the tradition that was passed down to you. Eventually, you get different broken versions of it. And then before you know it, your kids don't speak the language at all. That's what Nehemiah was talking about in the 8th chapter. Mississippi, the Gadite name is Misha Pawawa, was supposed to be called the father of Moses, which is what it was named after. I heard that said one time. You understand? Of course, the white man say Mississippi, but that's not what they saying in their own language. But the different Gadite tribes had names. Most of the names that we know, like Choctaw. Choctaw is not the name of that Gadite tribe. It's Chata, Chatah. You ask Chief Evelyn Warhorse. She explained to you it's not Choctaw. The white man said Choctaw, but the name of the tribe was not Choctaw. You understand? Seminole. The Seminoles didn't call themselves Seminole. You understand? The Gadites were saying these different names meant these were the people that picked on us. We call them the people that picked on us. You understand? Muskegee, Seminole, it meant runaway in one language. They didn't name themselves the runaway people. But of course, this is what the white man translates it to. And we should have never been broken up into all these damn factions. We should have stayed the tribe of Gad and the tribe of Reuben and the tribe of Judah and the tribe of Levi and Benjamin and Issachar and Zebulun and Shemaiwan, like the Lord intended from the beginning. Because once we got all these other names and titles, then we started to beef with each other, kill each other, hate each other, and then the white man comes and takes everything from everybody. You understand? But that was a very good question, sister. Very good question. All right.
All right, Salakia. The next question out of one is Aquaf Chanel. How can we discern the difference between spiritual warfare and spiritual correction in our lives?
Okay. Well, the first thing to learn about spiritual warfare, give me the law is spiritual. That's a very good question. Spiritual warfare and spiritual correction. The first thing we got to learn is what is spirituality. Spirituality is a specific set of things. It's not just made up. Unfortunately, we have been taught the spirituality of other nations of people, and we've adopted them as our own spirituality. But we don't actually know where they come from. We don't know where they come from. We don't know why we believe these things. I'll give you a prime example. When you sneeze, what does everybody say when you sneeze? Y'all type in real quick. Anybody can answer. When you sneeze, what do you say? The sister that answered the question, when somebody sneezes, Sister Chanel Parker. When somebody sneezes, sister, what do people say? Let just that sister answer. You still there, sis? Answer that question, please. That asked the question. Very good question, sister. The sister that answered the question. The sister that, all right. I guess it's too late. All right, no sweat. No sweat. Get it on. All right, don't sweat it. Is the sister that answered the question? Where's the sister that answered the question? Sister Chanel, where you at? All right, we're gonna have to move on for time's sake, sister. You there? All right, she might not be there. All right. All right, but to answer the sister's question, no sweat, sis. That's right. Everybody says bless you. Well, we don't say bless you when people sneeze. You spreading your germs on us. You supposed to be at there you go, sis. All right. God bless you, right. Well, we're not supposed to say God bless you. That custom is a form of spirituality that we inherited that we don't know where it comes from. No sweat. Good, good, good. No sweat, sis. You good to go. The water. So where it comes from is the white man was such a caveman, and they had a high infant mortality rate. They used to eat and drink out of the skulls of their dead mothers and fathers, literally. You understand? They had such a high infant mortality rate, and they were literal cavemen. The word Caucasian means cave dweller. The word troglodyte means cave dweller. You've seen the hills have eyes, cavemen living up in the caves and the hills and the mountains. That's literally where the white man comes from. We'll go over it another time. But in their belief, their children would die so often. That's why black women nursed white babies. That's why they lived. These white women, whatever milk the white woman was pumping out, it wasn't good milk. She wasn't giving babies good milk. They were killing over. You understand? Her mammary glands was garbage. Now they found some drugs to put in her so she can get some decent devil milk for her babies. You understand? But it wasn't always like that. Their babies would die, and every time their babies would get sick. That's why you still see them to this day. They don't wear any hats. Everybody baby got a hat on except for a little white baby. He don't never have a hat on. His mama don't have a hat. He don't have a hat. You understand? Their babies would get sick and die. So every time they would get sick and cough and sneeze, they would think that their soul was leaving their body because their babies died so much. And because of their experiences in their culture, they started to develop and pray that God bless you when you sneezed, because they assumed that you were going to die because they witnessed so much death for so long every time their children got sick. Of course, once they came around us, we taught them to be clean, to wear hats. We took care of their babies, wash your tail, vaccines. Before you know it, they got medicine. They're able to live much longer than they used to before they had us to take care of them. You understand? So that's one example, just a small example. We don't say God bless you in here. That is not our custom. And we don't take the customs of the heathen because they are vain. God hates the oppressor. You understand? God is not trying to bless the oppressor. We don't repeat what he's saying because his God and his beliefs is not our God and our beliefs. You understand? That's just one example. All right. Now, give me the law is perfect. Who got the law is perfect? The law is spiritual. Who got that? Should be Romans, should be in Psalms. Whoever got it.
Salakia, sir, I have the law is spiritual.
Come on with it.
This is Romans chapter 7, verse 14. For we know that the law is spiritual.
This is the first step to understanding spirituality, sister. The Christian church makes the Bible magical, and because of that, nothing makes sense. It's naked babies with wings, rabbits laying eggs, a bunch of fairy tale Narnia garbage, Disney movie magic. The Bible is not magical. Once we know God's laws, statutes, and commandments, that is the spirituality. If you don't know the rules, if we don't know the rules that God set up, then we can't understand the spirituality to understand what is spiritual warfare or how to take correction. Can't be corrected if you're not in the truth. It's just straight up. You understand? You just keep coming to class, ask your questions, take your notes. You will learn what the Lord said spirituality is. You understand? Like, here's an example of spiritual warfare and spiritual correction. Being corrected makes you a better fit to handle warfare. Prime example. God gave a commandment to not eat pork. It's in Leviticus, the 11th chapter. That's why, read the scripture again, whoever's reading.
For we know that the law is spiritual.
God's law, statutes, and commandments is spiritual. You cannot know or have spirituality without knowing God's law, statutes, and commandments. Our people think so. Their spirituality is usually just repeating sayings that they don't know where it came from, that you later find out it came from the white man. You understand? Doesn't have anything to do with God. Saved, you understand? Salvation comes when Christ returns. We're still in captivity. We speak the language of our oppressors. We slave for our oppressors. We need him for food, clothing, housing, shelter, education, everything. We're not saved. But the Christian church teaches you that you're saved while you're still alive, even though we're still in slavery, which is what salvation is to free us from. So the more you get proper educated or baptized with the words of the teachings that will cleanse you from how you used to think and how you used to understand life and how you used to understand God, you will know the reality because of these commandments. Now, before Brothers and sisters will eat whatever. They'll eat pork, they'll eat crab, they'll eat shrimp, they'll eat lobster. Because the white man says pork is the other white meat. Shrimp, crab, lobster, and scallops are a delicacy. Now you learn true spirituality, where God says you can't eat anything from out of the water that does not have fins and scales. If it is alive and it's in the water, it's an eel, a shark, a tuna, a bass, a turtle, octopus, a squid, clam, mussel, nothing you can eat. Crawfish, shrimp, if it doesn't have fins and scales, meaning it must be a fish and it must have fins and scales. That is the only thing that you can eat in the waters. Before, you felt that you could pray over the food and you can eat lobster, you can eat crab and shrimp. The church would give you crabs. The church would give you shrimp. If you got crabs or shrimp, you thank God because you thought this is a delicacy. I'm eating good. I'm living wonderful. I got scallops. I got oysters. I got crawfish. I got clams. I got great Alaskan crab legs. There was a war being waged against you that you were unaware of, because it was telling you to go against the Lord's commandments. Now you learn actual spirituality, which is like your God's laws. Now you know I can't eat shrimp. I have to be cautious about what I eat. The church told me that spirituality is just pray over the food in the name of Jesus. Then I can go and have a pork chop. I can go and have baby back ribs. I can go and get clams. Well, now, because I'm learning true spirituality according to the Bible, I can now war against my own mind and what I've been taught, because that's where the primary of the warfare is. Now I can battle the lie that I was taught that I am allowed to eat shrimp. And now I can correct my spirit to know that shrimp is not food. You wouldn't eat a dog. You wouldn't eat a cat. Why would you not eat a dog or cat? Because to you, they're not food. Well, shrimp is just like eating a dog or a cat or a snake or a possum or a hamster or a guinea pig or a rabbit or a vulture. You understand? God gave us rules. These rules now make me spiritual. I celebrated Christmas. I look forward to Christmas. I made a Christmas list ever since you're a little girl. You made it and give it to mommy. You take pictures so you can tell her what you want. You be good. Start being real good around October, around November, so you can get all you want. You go to the mall and you sit on Santa's lap and all of these things here. Well, now you know that God hated all of that. And I cannot celebrate Christmas anymore. So I have to go through the pain. Warfare is painful. I have to go through the pain of not having Christmas, of not going to the mall and shopping, not getting the wrapping paper, not staying up all night, not going hunting for gifts for your brothers and sisters and your mom and your kids. I have to endure the pain of mommy said, Cheryl, you coming over? You coming over? You know we got to get the presents wrapped. Your sister coming over. I need you to run to the store and get the ham for me, baby. I need you to get it for me. No, Mom, we can't do it this year. What you talking about? We do it every year. What you talking about? Stop playing. No, Mom. I can't do it. I can't do it. Well, just pick up the stuff then. Just get the stuff and bring it to me. No, I can't go shopping for you at all. I can't help you participate Christmas either. I can't get the wrapping paper. I'm not helping you wrap. I'm not going shopping for you. I'm not going to get the food for the Christmas dinner. All that mama do for you. I give you this when you need stuff. I took care of you and carried you in my stomach all these years. Everybody asks me for something. Then come the guilt trip. Now you're in the warfare. Because now you got to stand for the Lord. You can't be a coward and stand for the Lord. You can't be weak under your mama and serve God. Your mama going to throw it on. Your kids say, Mommy, I want Christmas. Mommy, this is what I want for Christmas. Well, you know, we're not celebrating Christmas no more, baby. What are you talking about, Mommy? Then they crying and Mommy's in a cult. Mommy don't want to get us Christmas. Go tell grandmama and your brothers and your aunts and uncles. Now you got a warfare breaking out. This your question about warfare. Now you got war going on. Give me Luke chapter 12. We said, I came to set a man at variance. This is the real spirituality that they never taught you about in the Christian church. Also, somebody give me, blessed is ye when men shall separate their company from among you. Now, because you stand for the Lord, now I didn't know I wasn't supposed to celebrate Christmas. They put Christmas trees up in church. I went to Christmas service with Big Mama. She took me there since I was a little girl. I didn't know we wasn't supposed to do this. Now I get actual spirituality to learn that what God said in the Bible. Now there's a conflict. That's why Exodus 15:3 say the Lord is a man of war. Wars, conflict. God wants conflict. The Christian church teach you to not have conflict unless it's against something that the Lord wants. Then they rise up against it. Now you in the warfare to see if you going to stand with the Lord or if you going to fold and stand with mama or stand with your sister or fold under the kids or fold under whatever. You understand? Now you get spiritual correction. You know to ask, what's in that food? What's in that food? What she talk about? What's in the food? You know, she don't eat pork no more. Like she ain't been eating pork her whole life. Or she don't like shrimp no more. What you talking about? She been eating the same jambalaya we've been eating since we were little. What you talking? No, she want to know what's in the food. She want to know what's in the rice. She want to know what's seasoning. She is some cult now. They telling us she got to watch what she eat because God just said, pray over it and bless it and go on ahead and eat it. That's not what it says in the Bible, mama. That's not what it says. That's not what it says. We can't eat shrimp. That make God angry. We can't eat pork. I can't have that tuna, that catfish no more. We can only eat what have fins and scales. Then you find out who really loves God. That's when you find out that most of the people that we know hate God. You understand? Now you got a choice. If you're going to stand with the Lord or you're going to stand with them. Who got me what Christ said? This was an excellent question, sister. Who got what Christ said?
Salakia, sir.
Come on. What you got?
Set a man at variance. That's the one that's in Matthew. All the one in Luke is on my cause. I said I came to bring division.
Give me Luke first.
Come. This is Luke chapter 12, verse 51. Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth.
Christ said, do you think I'm here to make everybody be at peace? That's why you got to learn spiritual warfare. Christ is not about being peace. We're not about having peace with everybody. We can have peace and live peaceful, but we don't need to have peace. The Lord is a man of war. We can fight everybody if need be. We can battle everybody if need be. We can have peace, but we don't have to. Better to have war than peace with something that the Lord hates. Because the Lord expects people that serve him to stand with him. No cowards. Keep going.
I tell you, nay.
This is Christ speaking. They never teach about the character of Christ. They teach you in lies. He's loving. He's a white man. He's giving out hugs. He's nice and soft. And then the rest you tell he's getting beat up and crucified. But they don't never tell you the things he said, he taught out of his own mouth while he was alive. Most of it is the exact opposite. As a matter of fact, all of it is the opposite of what we've been taught about Christ. He said, no, right. I didn't come so that everybody could be at peace with each other. Keep going.
But rather division.
He said, I want division. I'm coming to divide. I'm not coming so that everybody can hold hands in prayer and bow their heads together and have a warm feeling afterwards. That's not why he came. That's not the spirit of Christ. That's not the spirit of God. Keep going.
Verse 52. For from henceforth there shall be 5 in one house divided.
He said, because of me, going forward, 5 people in the same house shall be divided. 5 going to be divided in a house. Why does Christ want to divide 5 people in one house of one family? Keep going.
3 against 2, and 2 against
3
3.
what?
3 against 2.
3 against 2. Why? Because 3 of them want to keep eating pork, and 2 of them found out that God hates you for eating pork. The 2 want to stand with the Lord. The 3 hate the Lord, so they keep eating pork. That's warfare. That's correction. Now you get your spirit corrected because you know what it takes to stand with the Lord. You know what actual spirituality is versus just talking about it like DMX while he smoked himself to death with crack. You understand? This is what will save our lives. Not talking about God, actually having the rules that he said for us to live by and live by them. This is spirituality. Keep going.
And 2 against 3.
2 against 3. You understand? The reason why most people don't respect God is because the people that claim that they serve God, they don't have a force to stand for the Lord. That's how the LGBT took over the church when everybody swore they stood with God. The choir director became a gay man. Like the only people that know how to sing, you got to be an alternative lifestyle man. You understand? None of it had anything to do with God at all. And now they've taken over everything. Now they got men in dresses in the damn sports. Got a big man that let his hair grow out and he shave his mustache and paint his nails. He in there out wrestling women. He body slamming women. He dunking on women. He beating women in the damn volleyball tournaments. It's a mess. Because if you don't have a force to stand for and with the Lord, the evil is pushing against you. There must be a force to meet evil. You understand? The Isupk is the only force pushing the line for what the Lord wants done in the earth. You understand? Keep going.
Verse 53. The father shall be divided against the son.
The Lord ain't coming so that your family could be together. The father shall be divided against the son. The father still want Easter and ham hocks and pork chops. The son want to serve the Lord and stop eating pork. Now, because of God, because of Christ, there is a conflict. You understand? Keep going.
And the son against the father.
And the son against the father. This is what happens when you serve the Lord. This is the actual spirituality. They didn't kill Christ because he gave out hugs and kisses and made everybody feel warm and fuzzy inside. They killed Christ because he divided and rose up an army to stand with the Lord that showed that everybody else was lying. The Lord was not with them and they did not know the truth. And they got jealous and angry and they sought to have him killed repeatedly. Little did they know that was the mission that the Lord sent him there for. You understand? Otherwise, they would have not been able. He said so numerous times. All right, give me that other scripture I got you holding as we get up out of here. It's a good question, sister. Who got the next scripture?
Salakia, sir.
Come on with it.
Luke
What you
chapter
got?
6. Luke chapter 6, verse 22.
There you go.
Blessed are ye.
The Lord said, you are blessed. Everybody talk about bless, 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 blessing, blessing. What did God say is blessing? Keep going. Blessed are you.
When men shall hate you.
When men shall hate you. Why? Because you're selling drugs, because you're breaking their house, because you're stealing their car. Why does it say blessed are you when men shall hate you? Hate you for what? Keep going.
And when they shall separate you from their company.
When they separate you from their company. Why? Keep going.
And shall reproach you.
And shall come up against you. You don't eat pork no more. You don't eat pork no more too good to be with the family. You don't have Christmas and Thanksgiving. She ain't get so nothing for her birthday. Ain't called her on Mama's Day. She don't care about daddy no more at all. Ain't gave daddy nothing for Father's Day. Now they saying you evil because you stand with the Lord. And you said, no, that's not the case. I love y'all, but we got rules the Lord said for us to follow. And the way that we've been taught was wrong. And all I'm doing is serving the Lord. It said right here. Then you're going to find out they hate that Bible. I don't want to hear about that Bible. I don't give a damn who wrote that Bible. You ain't going to tell me what's in the Bible. I know God. I got personal relationship. I got Jesus down in my heart. It don't take all of that. Now, the rules that the Lord said don't matter once it's coming under scrutiny. That's why Christ said, I didn't come to make everybody come together. I came for division. You might lose that family. They might stop talking to you over Christmas, over pork, over Mother's Day, over Father's Day. Now, there's a way to deal with it. There's a way to handle it. That doesn't mean you can't see them, you can't love them, you can't talk to them, but you have to draw the line when it comes to things that the Lord said not to do. And what you will find in most cases, Christians don't respect that line. They would much rather you get high. They would much rather you be in the streets risking your life than to them to see a mirror that God said don't eat pork and I still eat pork. God said don't get high, I still get high. God said don't celebrate Christmas, I still celebrate Christmas, and she don't, and he don't. And now it makes me reflect about myself, and I don't like it. So I can't get at God, but I can get at you. You understand? That's why I said men shall separate their company from among you. You understand? And this was where we started at the beginning, learning the custom and the ways of the heathen. And you get separated spiritually before you get separated physically. So when they go down to the protest and somebody drives a car through the protest someplace we're not supposed to be, you won't be there. You'll be safe. When they go to celebrate the birthday party and some drunk driver hits the car and the car flips over, coming home from the birthday or the Thanksgiving celebration, you won't be there. You'll be safe because the Lord will be with you because you stood with the Lord once you found out how to have spiritual warfare and got spiritual correction once you came into the class so that we could teach you. Go ahead, finish that up, Yaquah. We can get up out of here.
And cast out your name as evil.
Now they're saying you're evil because you are saying I'm serving the Lord. These are the scriptures. God said don't do this, so I'm not going to do it because this is what Christ said. Everybody say they love God. Everybody say they love Christ. Here is the proof. Here's the instructions. I'm only following the instructions. They might respect it. More times than not, they won't. They'll look at it as something evil. Eventually, you don't get the invitations anymore. This is what Christ said. That's what he came for. All right. So that's how that goes, sis. You just keep coming to class. You'll learn. You'll grow. All you got to do is just keep coming to class, ask your question, and just focus on changing. Just focus on changing. Before you know it, you'll think different. You'll reason different. You'll understand different. And the more you gradually start to obey the Lord, the more things will make sense that didn't before, because the Lord said he hides himself from the children of disobedience. All right, so let's get up out of here. Who got with that, I'm going to pass the class over to the Shamar. I'm going to ISUPK security announcements. All right, you got it, Mataza.
Sir.
Pass the class over, priest and officer, Mataza. Blah, blah. All right, you got it, bro.
Khan. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they are off limits for They are off limits for 1 year. They are to be saluted only. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After that time period, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. And after this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. It means 10th, and in the Hebrew is pronounced ma'ashara. All right, that's 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High gives you. You can give it to the Treasury Department. You can also go to isupk.com and pay it directly there. Priest fund, which is a free will offering for priests, is not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocations. The next upcoming holy convocation I think I accidentally muted myself, Salaki. The Lord's 57th Passover, all right, is the next upcoming holy convocation. Everybody should have everything ready. We are down to the wire. It is exactly a month away. It will be on April 4th. April 4th. There will be events going on starting from April 1st of that week through April 5th. Everybody should have their information in to Captain Natazak Shah if you are in Virginia, and to your camp leader if you are anywhere else, as far as your checklist and your travel plans. All right. And if any brother wants to be a trooper, he needs to be in all black boots, pants, shirt, headband, and war scarf. All right. You need to get in contact with the ISUPK in your zone nearest you, isupk.com or ISUPK near me. You can Google it and find that. If you're in Virginia, 757-550-1204. Again, 757-550-1204. And for sisters, you cannot be troopers. But if you want to be an official sister in the school, you need to do the same thing. Get in contact with the school nearest you. Again, in Virginia, 757-550-1204. And with that, we're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Shalom. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabbarakatham. To the sisters, Shalom. Yahweh Shamar Alathan Ba Hashem Yahweh Shah.
Yahweh Shema Shabbarakatham. Salaki. Yahweh Shema Alathan. Yahweh Shema Alathan Ba Hashem Yahweh Shah.
Most High in Christ. Shalom, Israel.
Shalom, Israel. We're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, and you know what time it is. It's the Lord's 57th annual Passover, and it's going to be held in Houston, Texas on April 4th. Don't forget, bring your family, bring your friends, because this is going to be the time that so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans can come under one roof in one house and to serve the Lord. It's that time. $200 per person. Don't forget, over the age of 17. Don't forget the Lord's Passover. It's coming.
Kingdoms ours, all the heathens forbidden. The chosen bow down to no one. It was written.